Hi, my name is Thomas Carey and I'm the Technical Support Manager over at Elika Access Systems, and today we're going to be talking about the 460. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot is why we even decided to get into access control and more specifically telephone entry. And a couple of years ago when we were looking at the market, we noticed a huge gap between the technology that we were utilizing in all other areas of our lives and what was actually being incorporated into access control. So what we decided to do is design a unit from the ground up. And what you see right here, the Elika 460, is the result of that process. Now let's talk about some of the external features of the unit. First off, we've got a 1/4-inch cast aluminum powder-coated IP65 rated enclosure, stainless steel keypad, stainless steel call button, as well as a day and night digital camera. Now the reason that we call it a day and night digital camera is if you look right here while I cover the light sensor, you'll see that we have infrared lights that actually come on the unit so that we can maintain clarity of our pictures regardless if it's night or day. Moving forward, let's talk about some of the internal features of the unit. To start out, we've got 2 isolated programmable relays as well as 2 programmable inputs. In addition to this, you have up to 200,000 names, codes, and credentials that you can program into the unit. Now, the reason that we're able to achieve such a high capacity is we've totally moved away from using mem chips and we're actually using an SD card just like you would use in your phone. In addition to this, we have 2 26-bit standard Wiegand inputs. So any of the Wiegand devices that you're used to using, you can continue to use as long as they have a 26-bit standard Wiegand output. One of the things that really sets Elika apart from our competition is the fact that we're using a cloud-based management application. And really what that means for you as an installer or an end user is that from anywhere in the world that you have an internet connection and a smart device, you can fully control and manage all aspects of this unit. No longer are you bound to a single computer or a single downloaded program. This is management anytime, anywhere that you need it. You're not bound by anything. Creating a new Elika account for all your units is simple. First, go to www.elikacloud.com. Once you are there, you will notice 2 buttons to choose from. The blue login button is for returning users. New users should use the orange button which reads Register Client. In this next screen, it will ask you to enter the email address and the password of the main account holder. After you've confirmed the password, press Next. In step 2, you'll be asked to enter the personal information of the account holder. The state and zip code will allow the unit to set up in the correct time zone. In the third step of setting up your new account, it will ask you to set 2 security questions in case you need to recover your password. You can change or modify these questions in the web application if you wish to do so. The final step will be to confirm your new account. Do so by going to your email and clicking the link provided in the email from Elika. This will bring you back to the Elika Cloud website. You've now successfully registered an account. Once you've logged into your account, it will prompt you to add an Elika system. You will need the green card provided inside the Elika 460 box for this step. This will have the serial number and registration code. Once you have entered that information, agree with the general terms and privacy policy to continue. In the following screen, it will ask you for the job site info. Here you can differentiate between multiple units. The site name will show as the primary name of the unit. For example, if you would like to call Gate 1 Front Gate, then the site name would be Front Gate. Fill out the rest of the required information and press Next. The next step is optional. If you would like to have the technician's information readily available for service calls, this is the area to save their information. Fill out the information or press the skip button to continue. Next, you will arrive at a screen showing you the status of all the major components of the unit itself. Simply press Next to continue. The final step in registering a new unit is selecting a plan for your unit. Once you have selected a plan, your unit is activated and ready to go. Click on Add a Single User. Under the user account, it allows you to enter detailed information for each user. However, only a few areas are required to continue. When adding the first and last name, they will auto-populate and the name as appears on LCD section as last name, first name. To add the user's credentials, continue to the next step. From here you can add access, directory, WeGan, and Bluetooth code. Let's add an access code first. Once you've clicked the access code tab and it has expanded, press the orange Add Access Code button. Insert a 3 to 6 digit code for the user. Under Advanced Settings, you have the option of having an expiration date for the code or a 7-day timer that limits when the access code will be valid. Once you have finished with the options, click Apply. This redirects you back to the user's page to add more credentials. Now let's add a directory code. Expand the section and click Add Directory Code. The first drop-down will allow you to add up to 3 different phone numbers for that user. If more than one number is chosen, it will call the first phone number and then roll over the call to the following numbers. Select a code to use from 3 to 6 digits. The user's name will default to be on the directory LCD display, unless you select for it not to appear. The name will be auto-populated if it was already entered in the user account as last name, first name. This can be changed if desired. Now you can enter the phone number that you want this directory code to call. In this section, you have advanced settings as well. Expand the section by clicking on it. Here you will be able to set expiration dates and 7-day timers per each phone number that will be called. Once you have selected your options, press Apply. Once you have finished adding all credentials, select Done at the bottom left hand of the page. To see the new user's codes and display names on the Elika unit, click the button at the top of the main dashboard that says Update Phone Systems. This will push all the latest changes made all at once to the Elika unit. To add more than one user at a time via the web app, we have provided you the Multiple User Uploader. To access this feature, click on the orange button that says Add Multiple Users. Once you've gotten to the Multiple User page, start entering information in the proper section. You do not have to give each user every kind of credential. Now you will notice that unlike using the Add a Single User option, you cannot set time zones or limit the days of the week that credentials are active. However, we have given you the option to add the user to a user group. By predefining a user group in the general settings and adding this user to the group, all their credentials will automatically inherit the time zones, days of the week, and expiration dates defined in that user group. Once you have entered all the information, you need to press Save. This will cause another row to appear. Continue this process until you have added all the users that you need to, and once finished, hit Apply. When you hit Apply, you will see a message that says, "Your data is uploading in the background. We will send you an email once it has finished." Depending on how many users you added, it can take a couple of minutes for them to import into the web application. During this time, press the Elika logo in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and you will be redirected to the home page, and you can continue programming as needed. The CSV File Uploader leverages Microsoft Excel to allow you to add large quantities of users at once in a simple and user-friendly format. To use the Multiple User Uploader, click on the orange button that says Import CSV. This will redirect you to a page that is titled Batch User Import. If you would like to use our template, simply click Download Template. Once you have downloaded the template, open it using Microsoft Excel. Now that you have the CSV file template open, you can begin to add users. Like the Multiple User Uploader, fill out the rows with the appropriate information. Or, if you already have an existing template, to upload, go to the Batch User Import page. Press Choose File and select the file you want to upload. Once you have done this, you will see a drop down of the columns of the file you have selected. At the top of each column, you will see a drop-down menu. Click this drop-down menu and assign the correct header to each column. If you need to restrict user access with time zones, days of the week, or an expiration date, you will have needed to predefine a user group through the general settings. You can then type in the name of the user group into the user group column, and all of the user's credentials will automatically inherit any restrictions defined in that group. Once you have finished adding all the users that you need to, click Upload CSV File. You will see a message that says, "Your data is uploading in the background. We will send you an email once it is finished." Depending on how many users you added, it may take some time for all the users to import into the database. By clicking the Elika logo in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you can continue to programming as usual. You will see the users after some time. To see the new users' codes and display names on the Elika unit, click the button at the top of the main dashboard that says Update Phone Systems. This will push all the latest changes made all at once to the Elika unit. User groups is a feature that will allow you to easily set access restrictions for large groups of users. Typically, you'll want to define your user groups prior to adding any users to the system. This will allow you to more efficiently add users to the group. From the homepage of the Elika web application, click on the gray tab labeled Advanced Settings. This will drop down a menu. From that menu, click User Groups. Once you are on the User Group Settings page, you can view, edit, or delete any user groups that are existing, or by clicking the orange Add User Group button, you can add a new group. The first step that you'll want to do is create the user group name. This is how the group will be identified in the web application moving forward. Once you have created a name, you can either allow the group 24/7 unrestricted access, or by clicking Custom, you can restrict access to only the selected time zones and day of the week. To set a time zone, simply define the start and end time using the drop-down menus. To restrict access by day, uncheck the boxes of the days that you do not want users in this group to have access. You can also create an expiration date when all users and credentials associated with the group will become inactive. Do so by unchecking No Expiration Date, clicking the date box, and selecting the expiration date from the calendar. The last thing that you'll want to do is configure the relay setup. The relay setup determines which relay will fire on the Elika unit when a user in this group enters a valid credential. Note, the Elika web app will always default at relay 1. Once you are finished setting up the user groups, select Apply. You will then be redirected back to the user group settings page. From here, you can add another group or click Done to go back to the homepage of the web application. From the main dashboard, click the gray tab labeled Advanced Settings to expand the section. From there, select General Settings. On this screen, you have several drop-down menus. We will be discussing each one of these different settings. Upon clicking the Access Granted key, it will give you the option to select what number or key needs to be pushed when you receive a call to trigger the relay and grant access. For example, if someone uses your directory code and calls your phone number, you would press pound on your phone to open the gate, if that is what you pre-selected. Relay Input and Door Setup allows you to control the settings and functionality of the items mentioned. The strike time can be programmed on each relay from 1 to 255 seconds. The inputs on the system can be programmed as well to trigger either one of two relays, depending on which option is selected. The tamper sensor is an audible alarm that beeps for a few seconds when the unit is opened. Turning this feature off will cause this audible alarm not to function. In the camera capture settings, you can determine when the Elika unit takes pictures. All events will take a picture on every event that happens with the unit. This will include access granted and access denied events, card credential access, the unit being opened, etc. Only on access granted will take a picture whenever someone's credentials are valid. Only on access denied will only take pictures when a user is denied access by the unit due to invalid credentials or invalid entry of credentials. Disabled will cause the camera not to take pictures at all. Talk time settings limits the amount of talk time each visitor or user has to speak with the person they are calling from the unit. This can be limited from 15 to 240 seconds. The LED and courtesy light settings permits the user to change the settings on the LED lights of the unit and conserve power. The LED and courtesy light can be kept on all the time, only when there is no sunlight present, in which the light sensor on the Elika detects there is no sun and turns the LEDs off. Off all the time, or in a power saver preset mode. The intensity of the brightness can also be changed from 0 to 100 on the scroll bar shown. Through the microphone and audio settings, you will be able to adjust how the system reacts to different sites that may have louder noise in the background. The beeper option lets you change how the Elika system and keypad give you audible feedback for access events.
For example, if you would like the keypad to give you an audible beep every time you press a key, you would want this on all events. If you only want audible feedback when you have been granted access, you would then have to set it to access events. If this is not an option you want, you can select off all the time. With the microphone sensitivity and speaker volume, there are 3 levels that you can choose to place the settings in: high, medium, and low. Depending on the amount of noise in the area, you may want to lower the microphone sensitivity. Also, if the unit happens to be in a high traffic area, turning up the speaker volume would help your visitors to hear you better. Under the advanced settings, you can set a time for the speaker volume to be turned down or up at a certain time of the day. This is useful for sites where the unit is by a tenant's house or they do not want the unit being too loud at nighttime. If this is the case, the unit can be on loud settings all day and be set to change the speaker volume to low as soon as 8 p.m. comes around. Another great feature with your system is under the call button settings. Here it defaults to LCD enter button. This will make the call button dial the name that is highlighted on the display screen of the Elika system. You can change this feature to instead call 1, 2, or 3 different phone numbers when pressed. Each phone number can then be programmed to a timer, so they are called at a specific time of the day. The phone numbers will roll over if there are preset timers. The last option you can set is lockout mode settings. Here you can select the amount of incorrect attempts a user can make before the system locks them out for a set amount of time. Select Apply. You will then be redirected back to the homepage of the web application. Click the button at the top of the main dashboard that says Update Phone Systems. This will push all the latest changes made all at once to the Elika unit. To access and make new 7-day timers for your system, you will have to select the Advanced Settings tab. After this expands, select the 7-day timer. You have 7 individual timers on each system. Each timer can control up to 7 days of the week. To activate and schedule a timer, click on Event 1. Click the Activate button. You can now rename this timer to reflect how it is being used. For this one, we'll name it Trash Pickup. Start and end time for the timer and select what days you want this to be active for. Last, choose which relays you want this timer to trigger and latch. For example, if you have 2 gates and want both to open, select Trigger Relay 1 and 2. When finished, select Apply. To upload the new timer, click the button at the top of the main dashboard labeled Update Phone System. This will push all the latest changes made all at once to the Elika unit. Toggle codes are a type of code that will latch and unlatch the relay that it corresponds to. To create a new toggle code, click the gray tab labeled Advanced Settings, then select Toggle Codes. Once at the Toggle Codes page, you can view, edit, and delete any existing toggle codes, as well as add a new toggle code by pressing the orange button labeled Add Toggle Code. In the toggle code registration page, the first thing that you should do is create a 3 to 6 digit code that you will use. Under Advanced Settings, you can select which relay this code will latch. Note that the Elika system will always default at Relay 1. Once you have created your code and configured the relay setup, press the blue Apply button. From here you can either add another code or press Done. Remember that after you have made changes on the web application, you will always want to press the orange Update Phone Systems button on the homepage to update the unit itself with the changes. To view the history of your Elika unit, you will want to start by clicking the gray tab labeled Advanced Settings, then selecting History. You will see that the history breakdown comes up blank. The first thing that you want to do is select the start and end date that you want to pull the history for, then press Fetch History. It may take the web app some time to pull the history depending on several variables. Once the history is being displayed, notice that you can increase the number of events that are displayed on that page, or you can go through multiple pages. Using the filter bar on the top of the page, you can search for specific codes. You can also filter the event type and sub-event to get even more specific. If you need to provide a report, you can export the displayed data to Excel using the Export to Excel button. The history log is also where you can view any pictures taken by the Elika unit. Use the scroll bar to see the far right side of the log and you will see a column titled Media Link. If a picture has been taken, you will see a green download link. Click this link and a page will pop up. It may take a moment for the picture to fully download. However, once it has downloaded, it will get saved to the cloud and you will not have to download it again.
Thank you for watching the video. We sincerely hope that we get to work with you sometime soon. If you have any questions or comments in regards to the Elika 460 or any of our other products, please feel free to contact our sales department.